lost. I remember so many doctors told me it was in my head. I saw neurosurgeons. They told me I was depressed. For a very bright, happy kid, that was just the most ridiculous thing I could think of. Not being able to sometimes communicate or find the words, so like very heavy brain fog, inability to move my body. And so like not even feeding myself at times. I was like, how does this occur from someone who plays, 2-3 games of netball every day to now not even being able to feed myself or walk to the toilet on my own. So it's been over 10 years, maybe 12 years since I originally met you. Between now and then, I've done my university degree in exercise sports science. I went on and did my master's in exercise physiology. I'm now doing my PhD, which is insane to think that from where I was to where I am now.
It's insane.
I ran a half marathon. I'm still playing netball, competing in athletics. But I get it, like people have let you down. People have told you things that you didn't want to hear. They've told you it was in your head. But I think at the end of the day, these people, our team, we believe what you're saying and we're here to help. And you aren't alone. And this is the most beautiful community that takes care of their members to help them start to get their life back. And I'm just one example. Start again.
Stephanie Ryan.
Start again.
Steph Ryan. Wow.
Hello.
It is so good to have you here.
It's so nice to be here.
It's crazy, all the way from Melbourne to Noosa headquarters.
Yeah.
Who would have thought from the young 16-year-old girl that I knew over 12 years ago who was sick with chronic fatigue syndrome, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, like, how unwell you were and how desperate your mum was for you and how much you didn't really know what the hell was going on, to fast forwarding to now to be an incredible human being, an exercise physiologist, one of the smartest humans that I know, and also now working for Cephas Health, the very program that you did all those years ago, now fully healthy, helping so many people all around the world. Like, what's it feel like to be here right now?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty surreal. And even like you speaking then, it does feel like a full circle moment. I do remember like first meeting you and being this person who had no trust in the system, no trust in you, didn't know what was going on, was just so lost. And then to not only, I guess, find hope and a path, but that path shaped who I am now and my career. I could never have dreamt of that. So yeah, it's a pretty big moment.
That first day when I met you and your mum, your sweet mum Mel, shout out Melissa Ryan, when you guys came up to my office, I remember your mum calling me and she was just like, my daughter's so sick with chronic fatigue syndrome, can you help her? And I was like, yes, I can. And she believed in the program. Like she read up on the internet, she, asked around. And because I was back to back with appointments, and so I was seeing another patient, and then when I came back into my office, I walked into my office with you, the first person, I'd never met you before, this new patient, laying down on my sofa, on my couch, where my office and my desk was.
With my hood on.
With your hoodie on, and you were literally laying down on the couch with your eyes closed, and there was your mum standing there. And I remember walking in, I shook her hand, I said, hi, I'm Toby Morrison. She said, I'm Mel. I said, my daughter's in there, she's waiting for you. And I walked in and I was like, she either doesn't want to be here or she's extremely unwell. And then I realised it was both. You're extremely unwell, you're a teenager, you were young.
Yeah.
You're like, I could just feel you didn't want to be there at all. And I knew straight away that. And I was like, okay, the mum has made her daughter come to this program and this kid does not want to be.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said to you at that first point?
I do. I remember getting angry at Mum because where you were working was above stairs. And I said, what person has stairs? But I do remember being like, no trust. I didn't want to be there clearly. But the first thing you said to me was pretty much like, I know that you have no trust. I know that it sucks. But I have been in your shoes and I'll help you. And it was just the security of knowing someone else had walked a similar path to me, I think allowed me to sort of let go of that barrier or that blocker that I had to sort of ease into that, because I had been let down so many times before. So it was just nice knowing that someone was in my corner.
How were you let down before we met?
I feel like a lot of us, we go through the system to get a diagnosis or to seek help, and we do become very lost. I remember so many doctors told me it was in my head. I saw neurosurgeons. They told me I was depressed. For a very bright, happy kid, that was just the most ridiculous thing I could think of. So continuously being told like I'm faking it, and I couldn't explain why or how these things were occurring. For someone to be like, no, don't worry, I believe you and I'm here to help, was groundbreaking for me.
What were you like, just a quick snapshot in 30 seconds, what were you like before you got sick? You were bubbly, energetic, sporty?
Yeah, I feel like I was always known to be that bubbly, almost like outgoing, overspoken type personality. I was playing netball quite high level back then, so I was playing sport every single day, socialising every single day, and to the point like I just would not stop talking. And my family would need breaks from my talking. So to go from that to the complete opposite, where I actually couldn't speak, it was just an insane moment to be like, well, there's something clearly wrong here. And yet, yeah, it shifted everything.
What were some of the symptoms that you were experiencing, like, or like the situation? Like, were you basically, I know when I met you, you were pretty not functional, but like, what were the daily kind of struggles?
Yeah, for me, it was, again, like I used to just love singing around the house and, talking to family and friends, and not being able to sometimes communicate or find the words. So like very heavy brain fog, inability to move my body. And so like not even feeding myself at times. I was like, how does this occur from someone who plays, 2-3 games of netball every day to now not even being able to feed myself or walk to the toilet on my own. So constant muscle aches was a big one, like sleep insomnia, migraines, all sorts of stuff. But I just remember just that heavy fatigue and just despair of not understanding what was going on in that spiral.
You were exhausted. I remember when I met you, it was just like you were suffering, but the deeper suffering was just like just total exhaustion. And in the very acute stage of suffering where, it was just hard to get through the day or even wake up properly. And it would have been super tough for you as a teenager. Like, what was it like when, school, normally you're just running around, mucking around with your girlfriends and your friends. What was that like, going from that to then being at home all the time?
Yeah, I think that was definitely the hardest sort of transition for me. I remember trying to go to school after maybe 3 or 4 weeks of not being at school and in the middle of class completely collapsing and not being able to walk. And then so from that day on, I was deemed as the sick kid at school. Right. And obviously not being at school, you miss out on a lot. So a lot of friends moved on, as you do at that age. I didn't have my social sort of outlet through sport. I wasn't playing sport. All my friends were playing netball and progressing in their netball careers, and I couldn't even go watch and support. So I felt like from a young kid who has endless opportunities to now my world and my bubble being so small that although I had amazing support in my family, I just had my family. It felt like my friends didn't get it, my family didn't get it, but at least they somewhat understood being there all day with me. Whereas it was really hard as a 16, 15-year-old kid trying to have a conversation with a friend when, one, you can't speak, but also you don't know yourself what's going on. So yeah, I would say it was a very big shock.
Before we started working together and before you joined the program, what was your biggest challenge? Because by the time you got diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, and then basically really soon after you came into the program, before joining, what was the biggest challenge that you're experiencing? Do you even remember?
I think it was trying to get myself to believe in myself, trying to not feel like I have to explain myself to others, but also to let go of expectations. That was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Like, I was a perfectionist. I wanted to get 100% on all my school grades, wanted to play every game of netball to the best of my ability, have perfect friendships, be the perfect daughter, sibling, and to sort of let go of some of my expectations and sort of drop the bar was very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember when we met, we talked about some goals and, the goals to go back to school, play netball again, run again, all those things. But back then at the start, you couldn't do any of those things. What was amazing was when we started to work together, week one wasn't great. You didn't want to be there, understandably. And I knew straight away, and that's why I said to you, I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to be the one that says there's nothing you can do. I'm not going to say this is how it's going to be. This is a practical approach and we're going to help you start to get better. And by the end of that session, the hoodie was off. You took the hoodie off, you were sitting up by the end of the session and you were actually, I could see a sense of hope. I could see a sense of like, okay, this guy's on my side. Like he's not against me. Week 2, we kind of came up with a bit of an initial plan for you, which was like very, very small. I don't know if you remember this. It's funny, you got your nails done.
Yeah, just for the occasion.
No, stop it. So one of the things that I got you to do is write down a list of things that you could do. And the list was small, but like, do you remember like any of those things that you wrote on your list?
Yeah, I definitely remember my favourite one, and I actually talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
I have photos of it in this journal I've got from my journey, and every single week, the one thing that I would try and dedicate energy to was to paint my nails, so that by the time I came in to see you, I'd have a new pattern or a new colour.
Yes, and I would see it. And funnily enough, I'm a very observant person anyway. You didn't know that, but I'm very observant. Even when I go to my local coffee shop, when the girls serve me, I'm like, oh, new nails this week, nice. And I remember you'd have different colours on different nails and,
Some of them were bad.
but it didn't matter. What mattered was you were doing something new and you could do it and it wasn't making you feel worse. And so we started on those small details, but it was also enjoyable for you because you were stuck at home. It wasn't fun. So it's like, what can we do that's useful, fun, and appropriate for where you're at? So nails is one of them. What are some other things that you wrote initially down?
I remember my first goal being to walk a minute and to do maybe like 5 wall push-ups. And I loved movement beforehand, loved feeling strong in my body as a young kid. And so that was where my joy came from, and just seeing like little bit by little bit become a lot over time and being like, oh my God, I just did 1 push-up or 2 on the wall, or I'm now walking to the toilet on my own, and just feeling like I was getting a sense of independence back. They were definitely my original sort of goals or focuses. But other than that, I think it was just trying to spend quality time with people who supported me.
Yeah.
So they might not get it, but I would try, and even if it was in silence, I'd sit with mum, I'd sit with my sister or dad or brother or anyone, and we'd just sit in silence. But it was just sort of knowing that these people are in your corner as well. And I think that's really important when you do feel so lonely and isolated at times, it doesn't need to be anything drastic. But they were just like the small things that I made sure I did every day.
One of the things that we really focused on for you was the movement side of things because it mattered. Like, 1, you loved it. 2, the goals were very specific towards your netball and your sport and your career. We had a heavy focus on restoring energy in your body and reconditioning your body. And it's funny because back then you didn't know what you were doing. Like, now you're an exercise physiologist. Like, you have the highest knowledge than most people in the world, right? Like, in a general population sense. that every week we basically just kept focusing on just like that small rehabilitative process of reconditioning your body. And you went from like you said, 1 minute walking. I think we were doing some floor-based, very slow, easy repetition stuff where you weren't even using your body weight, like it was just air, you know. And I remember, I don't know how long it was, but we eventually were doing, you would jog. Like, do you remember when you started jogging? Like how the transition?
Yeah.
Like how long ago? How long was that into the program? Because that was a monumental.
Couple months.
Yeah, I would say like 3 to 6 months you would do, and it wasn't like a proper jog.
I just remember jogging up,
The
and
first
then it was a
time,
couple of punches on the boxing bag.
Yeah.
Because I used to use boxing as my outlet when I was angry or frustrated. And so I remember you were like, yep, let's focus on this as one of our goals. And I remember just going for a little jog, but that being like the biggest moment for me.
It was huge. It was a breakthrough, and it was like a second or two of jogging. It wasn't like a proper jog, but we were easing you back into your patterns of running for netball eventually. And so there was just these little milestones that were actually huge at the time that built a lot of momentum. Like, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
And we would write them down, and so we'd have a scorecard every single week. We'd check in, you know, how you're doing, how you're progressing, and even with the wall push-ups, I think you started with like 3 or 4 against a wall, and then you would, I think by month 6 you were doing like 100 on your knees or something ridiculous. Like it was like the strength came back fast, you know, well, relatively fast, and then you started to enter back into school, and we'd have a progress plan with that. Like, what was that moment for you? Like, you know, jogging for the first time in ages, and then you know, easing back into school.
Yeah, I think it was a very proud moment. I felt proud in myself in that moment. I felt proud in you and my family for, you know, trusting you because I clearly didn't at the start. But for me, it was like you're transitioning into the person that you're becoming and that you want to be. And so it was a real shift in like trajectory for me because it meant not only was I getting my life back, but I was getting the most beautiful parts and letting go of the yucky parts to create this better version of me. And coming back into school, it wasn't easy, but it was also easy to stand in my truth, in the sense it was like, I just have to take care of me. And that's what I've been doing for the last 6 months or so. And so that transition was nice because at the end of the day, I knew that I had me and supported me, and my team supported me, my family, you. And so that transition, although it wasn't easy, and yes, we had to work on scheduling and structure and all of that, we had built the foundations to allow a smooth transition.
You were a teenager.
Yes.
Like, to go, we'll talk about it later, but like the wisdom that you had as a 16-year-old kid, like, must have been very unique in your situation. So like going back to school as a different, but like no 16-year-old would say, yeah, like I backed myself and
This
I
is
had
very
this
true, yeah.
trust in myself, and I had me. Like no 16-year-old person is thinking about that. And so like you developed the wisdom of someone in their 80s basically at the age of 16.
Yeah, that definitely reminds me of exactly that. I remember a lot of the friends that I had before I was sick, I didn't necessarily retain or go back to when I re-entered school because I was a different person. And I remember even like after high school, and everyone would always say to me, are you sure you're that age? Like, you seem so much older than what you are. And I would always come back to that story and being like, well, this shaped who I am. It's given me perspective on life a little bit more. It's taught me X, Y, Z. So I think I definitely went into school being like, oh, it's weird because I've had this life experience that no one else has. And there's high school drama and you have to be friends with 50 plus people. But it was, I always would come back to my small team, like my family, you, my netball.
You did. You had a really solid support.
Yeah, and so that's what I continued to take through high school. And I think that's what allowed me to blossom and to let go of the other noise and transitioned me into the person I am now.
Yeah. It's pretty profound if you think about it.
Yeah, I'll honestly say it's hard to get perspective on this answer or this sort of statement when you're going through it, but it was definitely the best thing that ever happened to me.
Crazy. Before you joined the program, like and fully committed to me initially and, the process, did you have any, like, what were your hesitations? Like, what was going on in your mind when your mum was like, all right, you're doing this? Be fully honest, by the way. Don't hold back.
But I told you about the stairs. I saw the stairs. I was like, Mum, you're kidding. I'm not meeting this person who has his clinic upstairs. Like, I think it was just, I remember saying, oh my God, he's very tall. But I just remember being so disappointed that the system had failed. Or the people that you're meant to put in your trust in, like, they didn't back me to the point where I was even questioning, is it in my head?
Wow.
Like, am I actually feeling this? What is going on? And so I think when I saw you, I genuinely had felt like there was no real options or trust. And lucky for me, Mum was like, no, we're gonna try this. We're just gonna try it. Let's see how this goes. And she had shown me, I think there was a segment of you on the news at some point or something. She goes, he helps a lot of people and he helps people your age. And so I think it was true, knowing people my age were also going through it, and I wasn't the only person in the world going through it.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you said, no, I had it and I'm recovered, I was like, you've sold me. Amazing.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And along your journey, you got to meet other people who were getting better too.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And I still have a lot of them on, like, social media and things, and it's just nice seeing that they too have achieved so much in their life. But again, it's also shaped who they are in the best of ways.
If there was lots of things that you did to eventually get better and integrate back into life, if you could pick 3 things that you learnt from the program and from the process, what would the 3 main things be for you that, like, helped you the most?
Yeah, I think the first one would be little bit by little bit. Like, we say it all the time, but it's just so true. And for someone who was that perfectionist, who was so busy, who always wanted to do more, was deemed resilient and determined in everything, for me it was always like, what's next? And sometimes it's super important to slow down and actually listen to our bodies. And so I think that's probably 1 and 2, like, little bit by little bit becomes a lot, but then also learning to listen to your body. And that's something that I blocked out as a kid, and that's something I still work with today, is to continue to listen to my body, continue to listen to me and what feels right. Because back then I was a kid, I would just do what I was told, whether it was coaches, teachers, parents, friends, you just sort of did what you were told. And so I learnt to have my voice and to listen to me. And I think the third thing would be that it's not a straight line journey. I think there was many times where there was setbacks or hard as heck days, but I did really try and find the joy in something every day, even if it was little, like putting on my favourite pair of socks, changing from my bedroom to the living room so I could be around people. It was just finding the joy in the small things.
What can you do?
Yeah, rather than the can'ts, because at that moment there's so many can'ts, and it's very consuming and exhausting to focus your energy on that. So just shifting your energy to what you can do, where you can find joy, and the people that allow you to feel sort of safe and happy is super important.
There were so many more things as well that you just did on your journey, and the little by little becomes a lot, sums your journey up, because, I mean, how long were you working with me for? Was it 12, 15 months, 18, 2 years or something?
It was probably.
And then even when you got better, like we'd still do check-ins and things like that. And you were so consistent. Like, there wasn't a week that went by that you weren't consistent. You know what I mean? Like, you were so dedicated. And I think that has to like be spoken about, because I think a lot of people think that dedication isn't that important. Like they just need to know the things, and they're like, well, I already know this. And it's like, but are you doing it, and are you dedicated to doing it long term? Could you speak to that? Like, do you remember, how were you so dedicated?
For me, getting better not getting better wasn't an option.
Okay.
I was going to get better.
Yes.
That was my mission.
Yes.
And if you told me to do something, I was going to do it.
You did it. Yeah, no, you're amazing.
Because at the end of the day, I wanted to get better. I wanted to get my life back, and there was no way in heck that I wasn't going to. So for me, a part of getting better was not only understanding things, but implementing them, and implementing them consistently. And so that became my entire focus, was what do I need to do and how do I do it? Yeah. And then just be consistent with it.
Let's go do it. You were incredible. Like, I look back now, like, the dedication was insane.
Thanks.
Let's fast forward. You went to school, completed it, amazing work, good effort, got back to netball, started playing again not long after, you did the program. Tell us kind of like what you've done since getting better. You went to university.
Yeah. So it's been over 10 years, maybe 12 years since I originally met you. Between now and then, I've done my university degree in exercise sports science. I went on and did my master's in exercise physiology. I'm now doing my PhD, which is insane to think that from where I was to where I am now.
It's insane.
I ran a half marathon. I'm still playing netball, competing in athletics.
Now,
just crazy.
We're going to tell the audience the truth about one thing about the gym. So you're a strong woman. You like to train.
Practice what you preach.
I like to go. I like to go to the gym too. How much do you squat?
As of last week, 120 for 6.
120 kilograms on the back of your shoulders for 6 repetitions. 120 kilograms. That is heavy weight. Like, you are strong.
Twice my body weight.
Yeah, that's insane. So, it's amazing. It's just cool. Like, you're an athlete, basically. You're training like an athlete. You're living like an athlete. You play netball all the time. It's insane. One of the coolest parts about this story is when I reached out to you. And I think it was for a workshop initially.
Yeah, I think it was like a once-off workshop.
Yeah, I was like, I knew you were doing exercise science, and I knew that was your field. And I was like, you know what? Let's bring you on as a guest expert for a workshop with our members. And you said yes. And it was so great. And I think after the workshop, I was like, do you want a job? Do you remember that?
I remember being so excited when I think you dropped me a voice message or something before we had the phone call. And I remember being so excited. I forwarded it to my mum. Because I always said that he's someone that I'd want to work with because I believe in his mission. And so it was so cool to think that I'd work with you for like an hour and it would just end there, let alone, I guess, you taking a chance on me after that to be like, do you want to come along this journey? And I think just being able to give back and to understand it from their side, as someone who's gone through the program but is now, speaking about movement and all sorts of things, it's just, I wake up every day feeling like I have a purpose and feeling like if at least one person out there has a better relationship with movement or understands even the slightest way of how to be consistent with movement to, help them achieve their goals or help them get better, then I've done my job.
Yeah, and, one of the things that we just love about you is just your background, but also, yes, your knowledge, but just the skill set of combining those two together and, being our movement expert at Cephas Health and then you're coaching people every single day now. It's just amazing. It's just like, does it feel real to you? Like has it sunk in yet that this is what you do?
Yes and no. I think it has definitely sunk in more, even just being here and being with the team and seeing you guys. You do forget sometimes like what it took to get here.
Yeah.
But I am reminded when I see, when I help people or see people on our Zoom calls and they ask questions, it reminds me of my journey and how incredible it is to be where I am now. And so I'm forever grateful for that.
So cool. For those who are thinking about joining the program, they've seen it online, they're like, I want to do this. For someone who's done it and been through the process before, as an initial client, what would you say to them?
What?
Remembering that you were wearing that hoodie and it was covering your eyelids and you didn't even want to look at me in the face and you were like, who is this person? Is this even going to work? What would you say to them?
Gosh,
Knowing what you know
honestly, I could sit here with them and talk to them for hours. But I get it. Like, people have let you down. People have told you things that you didn't want to hear. They've told you it was in your head. But I think at the end of the day, these people, our team, we believe what you're saying and we're here to help. And you aren't alone. And this is the most beautiful community that takes care of their members to help them start to get their life back. And I'm just one example.
Yeah. Crazy. Oh, you get emotional.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you for two things. I'm proud of your family. Like, I just think your family is just so amazing. Like, your mum and the love that you guys have for each other is just really special. And I think it's like a big reason why you were able to progress really fast. I just remember, because we worked really close with each other, and to see your mum Mel and like your relationship with each other and just like how special that was, like nothing else mattered. Like, you just, school didn't matter, shitty friends didn't matter. It was like you two versus the world. And then I feel really privileged to be part of that journey, because like it was kind of us three against the world. It was like,
You're
all right,
in the fam.
I was
still
in the fam. I was still in the fam. I think you were like one of the first 100, 200, 300 clients that I was working with. So like, you were the OG, you had one of the CFS Health hoodies, and then we had a big crew. It was fun. But it's just like, I just feel you're just an amazing person, and you've just got such a great life, and you just deserve that life. And, and it's you've been living this life for a while, but I feel like it's just getting started at the same time.
Yeah.
With your life blossoming, with your new partner and your goals and your dreams, and it's kind of all happening. And so I just want to say you deserve every success, and thank you for being part of the team.
Walking up those stairs to the clinic was the best thing I ever did.
Come here.
Love you too. You're the best. So stoked you're here with us.
Are you going to weather? It's so nice.
Steph Ryan.
Do I look tall?
Why do I cry all the time?
Do I look
Kill me.
Did I
actually?
never? You make me cry.
You never cry?
I never
There was no, you didn't cry.
I did.